everybody, I'm Steph.
I'm Michael. And I'm Senor Azul.
Senor Azul joining us today for...
Usually you don't even let him say anything.
Well, I looked at him.
You did, and he's like...
Today we are going through our top 10 games we learned in November.
Right.
It was an amazing month of games. I learned 70 games.
I think I only learned like 55.
I mean, that's still quite a bit. That's a lot of games learned. So there were quite a bit to figure out, organize, get a top 10. But we managed.
Yep.
And we're here. We have a lot of games to talk about. Is there any honorable mentions? I'm sure there are some, but
yes.
I did not even think of any.
2 unpublished prototypes.
Oh, yeah, we did play. I played a few prototypes.
One of them would be near the top of my list. One of them would probably be close to making the list.
Okay.
So the one on the top by Rob Daviau.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and the other one that I played that is surprisingly good is from Brian Lee.
Yeah, that was also very good. Anxious to see both of those in the final production.
Yeah, we can't talk about Rob's, but we can say that that Brian's was Grand Plan New York City.
New York City.
Yeah,
yes.
Grand Plan New York City.
New York City being built throughout like hundreds of years. Like 1600s to current day or whatever.
Right. And then, they go through and there's events that will trigger, and you can sort of, if you are if you play the highest one, the highest numbered card, then you will get to, you go last, but you get to influence which event happens.
Yeah,
and then which other events will fall off.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of interesting planning and things to think about in that game. So I'm interested to see where it goes. It's supposed to be, I think, getting released from Academy Games later on, but I don't really know any information. And there is one prototype on my list this month, so it was a good month of prototypes.
Wow. Good.
On my top 10.
Now, the only reason those aren't on the reason that the other prototypes are not on your list is because you don't tend to rate games that are unpublished prototypes. So
I generally don't, unless I know like not much is changing.
Right.
But when I think it might change or there might be differences later on, then I don't generally rate them.
Right.
So yeah.
Yep.
With that being said, should we start with your number 10?
Yeah, my number 10
is
actually, so we had a couple of conventions worth of games, and this was not at a convention. This was actually in the last couple of days.
Okay, great.
We played Small Islands.
Small Islands. Oh,
yeah.
There it is.
Oh, you've got the poop right there. It blocks my face. So, Small Islands. With a little bit of Senor Azul from the side. So in Small Islands, you are taking turns drafting tiles and placing them into this area. And all of the islands, you sort of want them to be small because at the end of each, after 6 tiles have been drafted, that's basically only 3 tiles apiece.
Yeah.
Either of us, any of the players if send in either a neutral ship or their own color ship in order to trigger a scoring. And if a scoring is triggered, then you will take either in the normal game, the normal contract cards, or in an advanced game, you've got the mission and reward cards. Basically, a mission and reward equals a basic contract. It just gives more variability to what's going to pop up in those in the different contracts.
Right.
The contract is basically just a static mission and reward all in one.
Right.
So your mission might say every island with a temple and 2 of these pink flower resources, you are going to score whatever is on your reward. And your reward might say, hey, count the number of islands, or count the
number of pink symbols on
number of pink symbols, or the thing that has the least number of symbols, you're going to get 2 points per symbol. Or the thing with the most symbols, you're going to get 1 point per symbol.
There's a lot of ways these things can
A lot of
up.
different ways.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, you're going to get points for having docks around your boat.
Yeah.
And we're basically going to go until my boat and your boat and the neutral boats have all been placed.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's it. Hits a lot of the drafting buttons and tile placement things. The tile placement's a lot like Carcassonne.
Yeah, it has a lot of similar things.
So
Dan's asking, did we play with 2? We did play with 2.
We did play with 2.
I did play this months ago because it is on Board Game Arena. So
which is why it's not on your list.
It's not on my list. But I enjoyed it with 4. It felt a lot more restrictive because 4 players are eating up the locations for the island, for the little houses. With 2 players, it's very open. You can get what you want pretty much easily.
Yeah, those building sites stay pretty open.
Yeah, it's pretty open. So it wasn't really an issue.
Yeah, Dan says it with 4 it was pretty chaotic. Yeah, I think with 2 it works really well.
It's probably best with 2 or 3.
And that might be why it missed your list. So
back when, yeah.
So yeah, definitely worth checking out Small Islands.
Small Islands, yay! Yep. It was good.
Who's that by? That's
Lucky Duck.
Lucky Duck.
And
yeah.
Mushroom games.
Yeah. They have little mushroom tokens on the inside, and on the other side it has the games that they publish.
Yeah.
And I kept those, and she says, "No, don't do it." And I'm like, "No, I got to do it."
No. Okay.
All right, your number 10 is?
My number 10 is Old Tree.
Hey, we can knock out number 9 from my list, because that is my number 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. So this is one we don't have, but we would love to have. Hint, hint, publishers, hint. Who is this by? Help me out.
Antoine Bauza.
No, the publisher.
Studio H, maybe? I'm not remembering, but I think...
Gotta be ready with this.
I think it's Studio H. I don't have a copy
of
the
you
game.
rated Small Islands a 6.
Well, like Dan said, it was chaotic, but it was better with 2, in my opinion, so maybe it will go up. But Old Tree is a kind of a story game, but it's a cooperative game where you're going around fulfilling events, solving problems, trying to work out what the chronicle is going to be, what the story is unfolding. So you're trying to deal with the problems at hand, working together. It kind of gives you the Tales of Arabian Nights feel with the story that you're uncovering with the events, because you get choices that other people are giving you, can you fulfill this task, yes or no kind of thing. You'll get an answer one way or the other. I think they did it really well.
Yeah, because you're going to get each ranger, which we're a bunch of rangers. Each ranger will have their own special abilities, and the buildings that we build inside our keep will give each of us yet more abilities to handle things.
Right.
So if I'm a scholar, I'm going to want lots of scholar symbols, whether it be my own or the ones that are built inside the keep. And we're going to roll a number of dice based on how many of those symbols we have. Let's say I'm a scholar, I'm not going to want to do a lot of warfare. But we don't really have a lot of choice because, hey, there's trouble in these areas, and we reveal the card. Oh, hey, by the way, you've got a fight to deal with, and I have to roll dice in order to try to defeat the thing. You can also spend resources to try to mitigate bad dice rolls, which is fine. Any game with dice rolls, I think, really needs a good way to mitigate bad dice rolls, unless that's just part of what's
happening.
So
Dan wants a game where you go around creating problems.
Those exist.
Probably.
Especially hidden trader games. Those are really good. So no hidden traders in Old Tree because we're all rangers working together.
Yes.
Sometimes we're trying to build the towers on the outside. Sometimes some demons are invading, and we have to kill the demons. And okay, so here's what happened.
All right, don't give away.
I'm not going to spoiler, but something happened in our game, and I'm like, maybe we should deal with that. And they're like, no, it'll be fine. We're going to go around the outside fixing things. And I'm like, no, I think we should fix this. And it was not fine.
All right, so that's the thing. So we did play the first scenario
And
on
lost
normal. We kind of know what to expect. Well, we do know what to expect going in if we were to play it again. So there is less of a replay value there, but I would still want to go back in and beat it.
Well, I mean the things that come up at each location, all the little story things, those are always different. Now on the back sides, you can tell generally what it's about, but the stories on the inside, there might be 2 or 3 cards with that summary on the back, or it'll say like the Round Rock, and you'll look at it, and it's one of those stories from the Round Rock, but we're not sure exactly what it is.
What?
What? You're looking at me.
No, I'm not.
She's looking at me.
No. But yeah, so I liked what this game was doing a lot. I definitely want to play through it. You know, if I got a copy, I'd want to play it
all the way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did a really good job. It could be a good family game, you know, working together. The turns are quick, you know, you're just going around doing a couple things, and yeah. It worked out. I liked it.
Now, we did play another... So that's sort of a siege-type game. We did play another siege-type game with Aldi, actually, called the Siege of Runedar, but obviously we don't have a... It didn't make our list.
It didn't make my list. I wanted
to like it a lot because of what it was doing, where you're trying to run around and collect resources and defeat the enemies. That was cool. But so it's called the Siege of Runedar, but it's spelled Runedar, and I like to call it Runedar instead of Runedar. It looks like Runedar, run, because you're running around the keep, and so I call it the Siege of Runedar.
Well, another thing about that game is that it's a Knizia game, which is not like Knizia at all. It's like
not a Knizia game at all. No,
it's not. I mean, it is.
It's from him, but it's
kind of like Feld and Kokopelli. It's like doesn't.
Yeah,
they don't like go hand
Feld
in
is
hand,
not
you
a
know?
Kokopelli. Kokopelli doesn't seem like a Feld game.
Yeah, it's different from what you might expect.
But I think that
it was fine.
I think I had higher hopes for Siege, especially with the game factor of the box being the keep.
Right.
You know, you actually have they're running around inside on the box lid.
Yeah.
And so, I wanted to like that more than I did. And Old Tree managed to scratch the itch. I think that
a little bit better.
Siege should have scratched.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure whether the normal difficulty level on the intro adventure seemed harder than it should have been, especially since we were handling the dice rolls no problem.
Right.
Maybe we were just going the wrong directions, I'm hoping. So we've only played it once, so this could go up or down with more plays.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Certainly worth checking out if you like that sort of game.
Yeah, definitely. I guess we're going into my number 9.
Your number...
Which is your number 8?
Your number 9 is my number 8, so... and that's entirely by accident, just happened.
I actually couldn't find the box cover.
So,
image.
because it's not on BGG.
Yeah, well, it is now, because I approved it today.
Oh, you approved it today.
But there's no image with it. So.
Oh my goodness, you need an image.
Well...
Hey, how about this image?
I have the actual game, so...
How about this game?
It'll have to do.
And obviously... Prototype.
Prototype.
But a well-developed prototype. Astronauts.
What is this?
So this is from Indie Board and Cards.
This is a prototype. So normally prototypes might not make the list, but this is like super solid.
No, this is pretty much done.
This is like done.
Yes.
It feels done. Everything about it.
I don't think it's a prototype. This is a pre-production copy.
Basically, yeah.
Is basically what this is.
This is going to Kickstarter in January.
Yep. Plays 1 to 4 players. And you know what this is?
Aeon's End.
Aeon's End, the sci-fi edition. They have basically...
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, should it say it re-implements Aeon's End?
Yes.
Azul, are the humans behaving themselves? Yes, they're okay right now.
Yeah. So yeah, it does re-implement Aeon's End.
Yes.
It is the easier to set up, easier to teach easier to manage,
easier to tear down,
and
slightly quicker to play.
And
I think
smaller box.
Not much quicker to play, but slightly quicker to play. So what? Those of you who like Aeon's End are probably saying, why should I get this? Well, if you like just being able to break out the cards that are in the market really quickly and just
shuffle them up.
I can fix it because it doesn't.
Thanks, Dan.
Well, I mean, it's not a complete. I don't know if it re-implements it enough to warrant a re-implementation, because what it does is it takes those market cards and you don't put them all together. If you want a low-cost gem, it's in the low-cost gem pile, and they're all different. So if you
work slightly different.
If you buy one, a new one appears at the top that was probably not going to be just like what you bought. It's also probably going to be different cost than what you bought. You have low and high-end gems, low and high-end relics, and low and high-end spells, but they're not that. It's equipment and weapons and...
That's one thing I do like about the game.
Yes.
That there are stacks of cards that you can buy, but they're not all the same card in the stack.
It's not the same card in the stack.
But you're still, like, fighting the nemesis. You're still, you still have the action turn order deck that's the same. You still have the card draw, which is the same. You still have a lot of overlapping mechanics that are Aeon's End.
Yes.
But it's in a different package.
Right.
I really liked it. You obviously really liked it enough to put it on your list.
Yep.
I think there's definitely a lot of replay.
Yep.
I love Aeon's End.
Yeah, we got a demo teach right there at BGG Con.
I prefer Aeon's End to this one just because, if anything, just the theme. I'm not really into the space wars type stuff, but that's fine. It will be attractive to other people, I'm sure, for the theme.
I mean, okay, so let's say someone comes over saying they want to play, they're interested in Aeon's End. I'll probably grab this and say, if you like this, you'll probably like Aeon's End, and then go buy Aeon's End wholeheartedly.
Sure.
Now,
it is definitely easier to teach this.
So is there a place for both? Maybe. It depends on whether you have a lot of different gamers that come over, or if you like Aeon's End, just don't like the setup, this is certainly worth checking out. Several different good reasons to pick up Astro Knights.
Definitely.
If you like the theme better, obviously, than the fantasy.
Yeah.
The dark fantasy of Aeon's End. So, yeah.
I mean, it's really good, so it's hard not to suggest it. And we'll probably play it closer to the Kickstarter.
Yep.
So everybody can see it when it's on Kickstarter right before.
January, right?
Yeah, I believe that's when he said, so I'll follow up and make sure we know when that's coming.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's Astro Knights.
Yep.
And that was my number 9 and your number 8.
My number 8.
Wow.
What's your number 8? Yeah, we don't have a lot of direct crossovers like that going forward.
Well,
we do have some that are both on the list, but I don't think we have like a 9, 8, 8, 7.
Yeah, no,
like that
was good.
Yeah.
All right, my number 8 is a Japanese game called Sheep and Garden.
Konnichiwa. So
I
did not play this.
You did not.
So I have zero input.
When I play games with Joe Huber, I always expect to play at least one Japanese game at some point because he likes Japanese games. But if you are familiar with what is it? Now I'm blanking. Builders. The Builders game.
My
anyway.
hand disappears.
What?
Don't judge
Anyway,
me.
it's fine. This game is a tile placement game.
Little Town Builders.
Little Town Builders. No, it wasn't that one. It was the other one. What's the other one before Little Town?
Konbanwa, it's night. Oh.
The one before
I don't know
that.
these things.
Come on.
What?
What is it? Dan will tell me when I'm blanking. It's the one before that. Yes, King of Frontier. It's like King of Frontier, but not.
But not.
Same people, I think. But, okay, so there's tiles. They have shapes like Carcassonne. You play them into a common place. into a common board. Everybody's playing the same board, except I have a hidden goal. You and I have a hidden goal. I have a hidden goal with Dan. You have your own hidden goal. So everybody has 3 goals they're working on. And
mine, my left neighbors, and my right neighbors.
Yeah, there's one in between us, and you have your own. Everybody has 3 goals that they're working on to try and get these different combos on a board.
You messed up my spiky hair.
No, it looks really good. But so you're doing all that, trying to score your cards the best you can. It's a really nice little game. Obviously, I really liked it.
Well, enough to be number 8, right?
I know, but now I'm never gonna get it.
Why?
It's Japanese and hard to find. Publishers, pick it up.
Who's it by?
Whoever did King of Frontier. It might get redone. It might. Sure. Like Little Town Builders.
Like Little Town Builders.
That did get picked up by Yellow. Studio GG.
GG.
Good game. Studio, good game.
Good game.
I really liked it. If you get a chance to play it, I would recommend it. If you like tile placement games.
Yep.
It was fun.
All right, number 7. Oh, you're looking at my number 7?
I gotta see it because I gotta get it ready.
You gotta get it ready?
I gotta get it ready. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, what's your number?
Well, put it on there and I'll say it.
Number 7.
Number 7. Azul Queen's Garden. That's my name.
That's your name.
It me.
It you.
It me.
Rigged.
Azul.
Is that your favorite game of the month, Azul?
That's my game of the month.
Game of the year?
Everybody play Azul.
Azul.
Rigged. He did not influence my score at all.
I am actually surprised it's on your list.
Because I'm not an abstract player.
Well, so we played it with Brian, and you guys were less than thrilled at the end of the game. I was the only one who actually liked the game. I thought. So maybe you like thought about it and you know ended up liking it by the end.
So there are a lot of games this month that were, of the good games, they were all in just a big pack of, hey, these games are good, but I'm not too sure about the scoring mechanisms on this. Or this game is good, but it's really a re-implementation of another game. Or this game is good, but I'm not sure whether there's more than one, whether there's only one good path to victory. Which... that's my number 10 game all the way up to my number 3 game this month. All of them are, I like them, but. All of them. Like, I like Astronauts, but it's a re-implementation of Aeon's End. I like Ultri, but I'm not sure whether it's going to hold up under multiple plays. I like Small Islands, but it doesn't work at higher player counts. You know, that's going to come up several times. What? Butts. There's a lot of butts. Booty. Tail. You said Tales of the Arabian Nights.
No, that was like 2 games ago, Azul.
It took me a while.
Oh, yeah. Sure. So, see, for me, I really, really enjoyed this one. It might be my favorite in the Azul line of games. It is very...
I thought that was your favorite in the Azul line of games.
Yes, you are.
You messed up my spiky hair.
Again? I don't think it will be people's favorite, though.
It did not make your list.
It did not make my list.
Spoiler alert.
It did not
make her list.
It doesn't necessarily mean I don't want it in my collection, which I think I do. I think it's probably best.
Well, this was a weird month of some games that are in my list I might not have to own, but some that are rated lower in the list I definitely need to own. But you would think it would be games that are higher rated. Oh, definitely own it. But that's not always true. Depends on what itch is scratched. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Julie asked, how much better was it than the original? So here's my thought on that. I am definitely in the minority saying I don't like the original Azul. I'm not a fan of it.
You poked the original Azul in the eye.
That's right. As you can tell, I did not like the original Azul.
That was Mr. Sock.
That's right. So if you like the original Azul, Queen's Garden is like basically a different game. It's a totally different game. I mean, there's not much in common. There's like nothing in common.
It's much gamier, I think.
Way gamier. You still need a certain number of tiles to pay for a tile to go onto your board. That's about the only thing that's in common. And
so that's a really weird thing is that, okay, so in order to get a 6, in order to play a 6, you've got to have a bunch of other tiles. A bunch of other 6 tiles.
Or that color.
Or a bunch of other tiles of that color.
Right.
And then you can only put it certain places in your grid of stuff. Right?
Right.
So, which is what happened to me during the game, you get the 6 and you have no way to play it. You have absolutely no way to end up playing it, and then you're stuck with it. And it's minus points. It's minus points at the end of the game. I like what it wants to do.
Yeah.
I think I need to play it a few times. But I think I like it the best of all the Azuls.
Me too.
I did like Summer quite a bit with the little diamond tiles.
I really like that, but I don't have a copy of it.
No, you don't.
And it's been on my
You've got the other
for
ones.
a long time. I have Sintra.
You have Sintra and you've got the base game, but you don't have Summer.
So I keep the base game because people like the base game.
People want to play it.
Like Hayden played it and he really liked it.
Right.
So that was nice.
And it's my name.
And it's your name. But for me, I definitely preferred this one. I like the drafting system in this game a lot more than the drafting system in the other Azuls. It's different. It's different than the other Azuls. The other 3 Azuls, you're taking tiles from the center tile thing, and then the other ones go into the middle, right? This is totally different. They changed it completely.
Dan says Summer's his least favorite. Shrey says, for me, Summer was boring.
That's fine.
So
can't win them all.
I do want to play this more, but I like what it's trying to do. So
yeah. This
was so that's the weird thing about this month is that there were a lot of solid games that are solid mechanically, but I'm not sure will hold up, and then a lot of okay games, and then a lot of mediocre games.
I had a lot of 6.5s and 7s this month.
Yeah.
A lot.
And usually 7.5 is the start of your keep list.
Yes.
The start of your keep list.
Yes.
Though you sometimes keep games like Azul that are just because people like to play them.
So Dan, if you thought Summer was long, twice as long as it should be.
This is long. This is long.
This is long, and we played with 3 players. So if you're going to play it, I highly recommend playing it with 2 or 3 at most, but it's going to be long. Especially your first play is going to be long.
Julie said, but you played so many games. Yeah, but there's a lot of games. So she plays them, and I play them because it might be your new favorite. You don't know until you play it. And then you play it and you go, well, that's a game.
That was a game.
Dan does this. Dan likes to play the new games to try to see if it is a game that he might possibly like.
Yeah.
This is just in my way.
It's your name.
It me.
Dan says, depends on how interesting it is. I don't mind longer games, but there just wasn't enough going on. I'm not sure there's enough going on in this one for you to like it.
Agreed. I would agree with that.
Because it is a slow turn.
Because you're trying to figure out, can I even take these tiles?
Right.
Because you can take all of a color, or you can take all of a symbol. And that includes the tiles that pop up, and those have symbols on it. So... yeah.
I honestly
you're not selling me on it.
I honestly don't think you're going to like it. based on what you said. I love summer.
I love summer. I like what Queen's Garden is doing mechanically. I want to see if it holds up under repeated plays.
I'm just telling you.
Same with a lot of the other ones that I have in this part of the list.
I just think a lot of people will go in thinking it's going to be the next Azul.
And
but it's very, very different. It's different. Very, very deep. It's very crunchy.
It's super crunchy, yes.
And you're going to be sitting there like, what do I do? Like, you're just going to be doing that. So if you like the pattern building in your mind, how can you get the right tiles to put down this one tile? It's a lot of this, trying to figure out how to get what you need in order to play one tile.
Because you have to spend so much to play one tile, and you can only play those tiles in certain places. So, if I play this tile, I have to spend these tiles. Or I can play this tile and spend this other set of tiles. And should I even do it? So
yes, Shrey. It is technically the next Azul, but
the next Azul of that level.
But the problem is people will go in thinking it's
light and tile,
easy peasy, very much like the other ones. You'll easily jump into it. No, you're not going to easily jump into this. Like,
this is a gamer's Azul.
So, if that sounds good to you, I like it.
I
like it.
I like it.
I want it in the collection. I know that people are going to go in and be like, what is this?
This is too hard.
So, I suppose it's a warning, but it's also crunchy and thinky. And
right. And maybe that's why I don't mind it as an abstract.
Way more than... so Sintra is very much like Azul. The basic Azul is very similar to the basic Azul. This one is not at all.
Azul Premium Deluxe.
But yeah, you appreciate hearing this. Well, I still think you should try it. Obviously, you will at some point and figure it out if you like it.
I like the name the best.
But it's not. It's a gamer's game for sure. Very puzzly. Yeah. I honestly don't think you're gonna love it though, Dan.
They'll force you, Dan.
Yes, I make Dan play a lot of games.
Well, that was a controversial topic for my number 7.
Well, I didn't think it would make your list, so that was
a surprise. Well, there were my number 11 game had what?
I was looking at the next one.
My number 11 game had lots of issues with where you place things and how it scores. And so I had a bunch of these that it's like game after game after game after game that I like what the game is doing. I just don't know if it holds up under repeated plays.
Yeah.
I don't.
There's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that.
So
I'm like looking at it, I'm like, should I put in this number 11 and take something out of the list? There's a lot of them that are like that, and this is one of them that I'm not sure.
Yeah, so technically my number 11 was the initiative, which is a play through once campaign thing and then sell, which is fine by me.
Which is fine.
I don't mind going through once and being done with a game. Right. I had the experience, I'm good.
But we haven't gotten into the good crunchy stuff yet. Yeah. We've gotten into some easier missions.
Yeah, which were fun.
That, like I say, these sort of things can go up or down over time.
Of course.
Who knows? I think Floriferous was on the outside of my list.
Dan hated it.
Because that's the thing. If you go down to the bottom, can you get up to the top? If you stay at the top, if you don't ever go down and get a scoring tile, I don't know. It's just I want to like what some of these games are doing. Anyway, it was sloppy design. I agree. I wanted to like what it was doing, but it doesn't do anything better than the other set collection games that I have available already. So,
true.
At least Azul Queen's Garden
is very different.
Does give me something that I don't have with the other Azuls.
Yeah.
And if I could only keep one, it'd probably be Queen's Garden. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Your number 7 is?
Number 7.
Free Fart.
Free ride.
Except it's, it's Fry Fart or something on... Frey Fart.
Yeah, you know.
However it's pronounced in German. Anyway, Free Ride.
Hey.
By Friedman Fries.
I am shocked.
That it's on your list?
Yeah.
Because you don't generally care much for Friedman Fries games.
In general, no.
In general.
He doesn't usually have the designs I prefer. I mean, this is probably one of his best designs, in my opinion, besides, like, Power Grid, you know. Like, this, and I don't even like network games. I don't like pick up and deliver.
You don't like
games.
pick up and deliver.
I don't. And that's exactly what this is. Even though Beth was like,
and yet,
before I played it, Beth was like, it's not a pick up and deliver game.
No, it's totally a pick up and deliver game. It's totally
a pick up and deliver game. So, she's wrong.
Where can I get this title?
It's not in the BGG store yet. I don't know if it will be, but I know that Rio Grande decided to pick it up for release in the US. So, at some point, it will be released by Rio Grande.
And we don't even have a copy.
I don't have a copy.
We want a copy.
So it's an interesting network game. You make your little network of things, but other people can use your networks. They have to pay you to use it for the first time, and then it's open to everybody to be able to use it. It becomes,
so basically...
It's cool.
You pay, if you want to use someone else's lines, you pay that person a coin, basically for the time they took to build it, and then the track becomes nationalized. Basically, you keep the track on the board, but take off your little tunnel piece. That means anyone can use the track after that because it's nationalized.
Yeah.
Everyone can use it.
But I think what's really great about this game is how you get routes.
That is, what's a route?
How you get the location cards.
You mean the routes?
Yeah, there's three, and then there's like, you know, London to Paris, Paris to Luxembourg, I don't know, wherever those.
No.
Whatever it is. Anyway,
so,
you can take...
What's going to happen is, so I think this is, I agree with Steph, that this is really innovative, is that there are 3 route cards for each, let's say, I think there's 6. I think there's 6. 6 different batches of 3 cards, right?
With 4 players anyway.
With 4 players anyway. So 6 different batches, right? A top card, a middle card, and a bottom card.
Yeah.
The route is either top to middle or middle to bottom. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, if you pick up, you're picking up from the top and the middle, and if you're delivering, you're taking it to the middle or the bottom.
Depending on where you
are. And
the
third card, the third card will get trashed.
Yep. Whatever card is not taken for the route, then it goes away. And so these are always going to change every game. I mean, the routes will never be the same.
Route.
No. And it's really interesting. Now, the biggest problem for me is the cities, and they all look the same. And
that's fine. That's fine for me.
It's fine for you. It's not fine for me. It's fine if Eric Martin's sitting across the table being like, here and here. I'm like, okay, great. That helps me a lot. Thanks.
You'll get to know where those are.
I don't think I
played, will. So, I think it was Jennifer Schlickburn, one of my favorite designers because she is Civilization.
Yeah.
She said that, no, it wasn't her. Who was it? Someone said that they played a lot of Euro-Rails in the day and that it makes it super easy to find where those route. That it makes it really easy to find out where those are because we're used to them. And I played a lot of Euro-Rails back in the day. Plus, they're European cities. They are where they have always been. Oh, Eric Brosius. Yes, Eric Brosius said that. You are correct, Dan. But Jennifer also said that she did not mind the clean, flat design because it made it easy for her to locate things, and she also played a lot of older games that look like that. Oh yeah, she said she was a fan of the Empire Builder series. Brosia said that he was a fan of the Euro-Rail series, and that makes it easy to find. But Jennifer also said she could appreciate that people want more things to make it so it's visually, you're able to find out where it is. Maybe they could have had color-coded regions like Scandinavia and Russia and Southern Europe and Western Europe, that at least when a card comes up, you would know what area it was in.
Like, even that would make it, like, so much better.
Because it's an orange card. Anything. I don't know. Seville comes up. And it'll say Sevilla, right? An orange card comes up. And the orange card is for Western Europe. Boom, automatically it's in Western Europe. So maybe that would help.
Yeah, it would. For me. Because, yeah. I don't know. But anyway, I'm surprised as you are that it's in my top 10 of the month. I do really think it's a solid game and that it will be a lot of people's favorites. Or in the top favorites for many people this year. I'm glad we tried it.
Yep. Right.
It was the last game of BGG Con. But I'm glad we did try it.
Route.
Cool. Hey. I took away the boxing balls. What are we on? You're number 6?
Route.
What?
My number 6 is Lizard Wizard. Or also known as Lizard Wizard.
Lizard Wizard.
Lizard Wizard.
So this is funny for me because you haven't actually played Raccoon Tycoon.
I had not played Raccoon Tycoon or Lizard Wizard or Possum Blossom or... Actually, I made that up. There are many games that we actually went through this when James and Susan were here. We went through with all sorts of other animal names that could be sequels to Raccoon Tycoon and Lizard Wizard. Yeah. So, there's a lot going on Lizard Wizard. You're collecting resources, reagents actually, and you can either sell those reagents. What?
Dan.
Possum Blossom is a dish at Outback. What? No, it's Awesome Blossom, not Possum Blossom.
Awesome.
Dan. So funny. All right.
Pretty sure I'm right. Right. Sure.
Who's got the someone give me an emote. So you can hire wizards. In order to hire a wizard, you have to do an auction. And auction costs mana. Well, how do you get mana? Well, you can sell reagents. When you collect reagents, the value of other reagents will go up. And then at some point, you can sell reagents. The price will go down, and you're going to get a whole bunch of mana. You can use this mana to do lots of different things, like buy familiars or buy towers. Actually, you can buy towers with reagents or gold. But you can also auction off wizards, and you have to spend mana for it. So, there's a lot going on with that. You're trying to collect sets of things, and no. Dot actually decided to go bloom and listen to me. I want a food cart themed game called Tortilla Gorilla. And yes, intentionally mispronounced tortilla.
No.
Tortilla Gorilla. I like it.
No.
So yes. But yeah, there did this make your list once upon a time? Because this was this your first time playing it?
Lizard Wizard, that was the first
time.
Oh,
it was.
Playing.
And it didn't make your list.
Well, so we played 4 players, which I think was probably it's probably best with more people. But
well, because you get the back and forth auctions going on and stuff, and yeah.
Right. But we played with the mean cards, and it kind of was like soured me on it a little bit.
All right, so
I'm willing to
Steph
play
does not like mean
cards.
cards. I like a little bit of meanness.
Oh yeah,
in games. And what soured you on it is me stealing 6 of your coins at the start. Me stealing 6 of your coins and you're going Miss Pouty Lip for the whole rest of the game.
Well, he promised he wouldn't do that.
So, yeah. So as a bluff, I said, she says, I guess I should use this. I said, if you use it on him, I won't use this on you. And that held up until it was clear that she was the only threat that I had in the game. Because she was the only one with any coins. And I'm like, I got to drop this on you. And so I played the traitor because I'm always the traitor. And then...
And I'm not going to play with those cards again.
And then you're not going to play with those cards again. And that's what happened. And that's why it's not on her list. Other than that, I think that there's a lot of good things going on. I like all the different ways of scoring.
Mom Gamer's with you.
I find it funny when things are a bit mean in a game. Lol, sorry but not sorry. So you agreed. And I mean, I know that it can go. It did come around again because things. You will have things sniped away from you. So I don't think you can have. Even when you take out those mean cards, I don't think you can have a not mean auction game. Auction games are designed to undercut other players in just the right ways. Okay, I'll let you have that one for 5. I'm going to take this one for 2. I'll let you have this for 20. I'm taking this for 10.
Oh, I don't mind that.
But that's a similar amount of mean. Bidding you up and then dropping out? Yeah, that's a similar kind of mean.
What I'm talking about is I had a card. I was going to eliminate your card because I knew you were going to target me. And then you're like, no, take out his card and I won't do that to you. So we had an understanding.
It's not a binding contract. We did have an understanding.
I take things to heart. That's why I'll never play diplomacy because of that.
I delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed on that card.
But Susan and James weren't collecting any coins
They were not collecting.
It was so frustrating.
It was frustrating for me too. It was frustrating.
It was rough.
I don't know if you could tell, but I did not want to play that against you. I don't know if you could tell that. I did not want to play it against you.
So, I know, but still, you did.
I did. I totally did.
Says, when I get to play Arc Nova next, I will be changing the mean cards so they are not mean, which the designers talked about as a variant. That sounds great. Because I'm not into the mean cards as much.
Right.
So, yeah. Other than that, I think the game is pretty solid. I like, it adds if you've played Raccoon Tycoon, it adds a dungeon aspect where there's a push your luck aspect to it. Which I think is funny. Because obviously I'm going to push my luck.
You're going to push your luck.
I tried not to because you're paying a lot of money to do that action. You're paying a lot to do it. So you don't want to mess up. Yeah.
Yeah. That was so fun.
But yeah, it added some cool mechanics. Obviously the artwork is amazing.
I mean, you can put in a trap card. The trap card is going to keep them out of the dungeon. I like that. I think it would be less if it was taken out. But anyway, I did struggle with this, too.
I'm fine keeping that in there. I understand that.
Because I'm not sure it does a whole lot different than other games like it, but I did have an enjoyable time. Despite the whole mean aspect of it, which, again,
You can take out some cards, and I probably will.
No, if the cards are taken out, I don't think I'd really need to play it. Because then you're doing everything, you're doing your own little engine.
Which is what I like. That's what I like.
So, no.
But, yeah.
And so that the different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's like eating a steak with teeth versus without teeth. Yeah.
I don't understand the comment. So, that's fine.
Much more enjoyable eating the steak with teeth.
With your teeth?
Instead of with your gums.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
I believe you. So
anyway,
yeah,
that's Lizard Wizard. Definitely worth checking out by Forbidden Games.
Yeah.
Next on the list.
Oh, it's mine.
Is yours.
This one.
Your number 6.
My number 6.
Which we played at Lobster Trap.
Speaking of mean.
Yeah. You're like, I hate mean games. And then you're like, let's put a mean game at number 5. I didn't care for this not because it was mean, but because you can just get into bad situations based on what. Yeah.
Taj Mahal.
Anyway, go ahead. This did not make my list.
That's fine. Finally played it after all the years.
All these years.
And I'm glad I did. It was good.
I'm glad I played it too.
I had fun. I knew I was going to get crushed because Eric.
It was much better than Cats. You going to see it again and again?
Because Eric, it's his favorite game or whatever, and he's played 500,000 times. So
yep.
I was expecting to lose. You're not going to get everything you want.
No,
it's just
but that's fine.
But that's fine.
That's what you want.
You have to know when to step away, take some cards instead, and yeah, Shrey loves the game. I'm glad you played with us, Shrey. So I actually really liked it. I will be looking for a copy for the collection just because I like it. I don't know how frequently it will get played, but
hi, Dr. Sign.
Hi, Dr. Sign. Welcome in. You did fine.
Yeah, I didn't mind it, but if you end up with bad cards, bad location, it's just
Sure.
If you get one of each resource, you basically crapped out. So
yeah, I mean, you have to try and get sets of the same resources, or
just not, because you can't get them. So,
I think you need to play it again and see
maybe
how
again this might be one that goes up or down with more plays. So
yeah, that's fair.
And like I say, I had a lot of those. So, but yeah,
I'm glad we played it.
Yeah,
it made the list.
It made the list.
It's an oldie, but a goodie.
That is an oldie. What?
2000, I think.
2000 even? 19...
I forget. I've looked at that page so many times.
98,
but
I don't know.
I still forget.
It's been a while. All right. If that's all you have to say about number 6, that's not a lot.
I mean, it's an old Knizia.
So, there may not be a whole lot to say about number 5.
Your number 5?
My number 5 is...
In the year 2000... You're right, Shrey.
Click.
In the year 2000.
Where is it? There it is. Carcassonne. But not just any Carcassonne. Carcassonne 20th Anniversary Edition. So...
It's Azul.
What? No, it's blue.
Same thing.
That means blue in Spanish. Well, I know that, but... I mean, it's not the game Azul. So, the tiles are improved with little elements like the river. I'm not sure if everything is screened on, but the river definitely is.
I think everything.
So, like when the light hits it, then it reflects off the river.
It is really well done. I really think it's pretty.
They've changed the wording. So in the original version of Carcassonne, you have the original.
I have the first, yeah.
Where the farmers are still worth 4 points.
Yeah.
Per city, which got changed a long time ago. Thief in that edition.
Thief, yeah.
You put a thief on the road.
Yeah.
Well, that became the robber on the road.
Right.
Now it's a traveler.
It's a traveler.
It's a kinder, gentler time. We have travelers because we're all supposed to be celebrating the 20th anniversary of Carcassonne, and there are 20 symbols everywhere. There's a 20 flag and 20 banners and 20 pennants and all sorts of different 20s everywhere. When men were real men and farmers were worth 4. Yes. So, all of the rules of the base game are virtually the same. So, Sean says a traveler, someone who can die in character creation before the game starts. Bonus points to anyone who understands that reference. Let's see if anyone understands what that is before I explain. Anyway, the rules for 20th anniversary are basically the same. It includes monastery scoring and road scoring and city scoring. Farmer scoring is not introduced until what they call advanced rules. But when you add in the advanced rules, that's where you get the monastery scoring. That's where you get the farmer scoring. And that's where you introduce something brand new to the 20th anniversary. And that's these little arrow icons on the cards. And the arrow icons, if you line up the arrow towards an already placed tile, so there's going to be an arrow with a symbol on it that points one of the directions right out, toward the edge of the tile.
Yeah.
And if you place that to where it connects up to the already existing map, you will get to take the action of that icon. Either place a meeple where you already have one anywhere on the map.
Yeah.
Meaning you have two of that power, like if you want to place an additional farmer or an additional guy in a city or whatever. It gives you an extra presence.
Yeah.
There's one that lets you take an extra turn. Just, all right, your turn is now over after scoring. Draw another tile and keep going.
Place it.
And there is one that allows you to
put a guy on the board.
The one that lets you place an additional meeple, it requires that you do not place a meeple on the tile you just placed. You're going to place that extra meeple somewhere else. The last one, if I remember correctly, if you don't place a meeple down, you can place it on any other unclaimed feature on the board, like a monastery that did not get claimed, or and it has to be unfinished. If there's already a finished city, you cannot put one in and immediately score it. It has to be unfinished and unclaimed.
A road, a farm,
unclaimed road,
a city, a garden.
Yes. So, what are gardens? Well, this was from one of the expansions that included the abbot or the bishop, I think it is.
I don't even know if I've played with the gardens before, so I'm
there
not sure.
there are gardens on the board, and if you so it gives an extra figure, a bishop figure. You can put the bishop figure in a monastery like normal, or in a garden. The only thing that can go in a garden is this bishop, and the bishop can only go in the garden or the monastery. Here's the catch, though, with that piece in particular. If you do not place a meeple, you can instead take up your bishop and score either the garden or the monastery. Gardens score the same as monasteries do, except you can place a normal meeple in a monastery. You can't place a normal meeple in a garden, but you can pull off that bishop and score that feature. And if you get the tile that lets you put one back, you can put that bishop right back in that.
Score.
Yeah, I literally.
You were doing it all day.
I took off the bishop, I put it back on, I took it back off, and I put it back on multiple times, scoring 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points.
I know, you're just.
I was picking them up and putting them down.
That's right. No, it's good.
There are also other features that can be used with future expansions when they put out 20th anniversary expansions, which I expect that they will. But is this vastly different from Carcassonne? No. Especially if you've got the 1 or 2 expansions that has that stuff in it. Now, the river at one point did become hard to find.
Yep.
It includes a more advanced river. In fact, the first river tile is a double length token.
I know, it's cool.
Yep.
I like it. I love it.
It's beautiful.
Carcassonne.
It's Carcassonne, and
if you haven't played Carcassonne, obviously you're going to.
So again, this is one of those that, how should I rate this? It's just a re-implementation of the original, but it'd be a sin to not put Carcassonne on there. So it's on there.
It's true.
So
might be on mine too.
So the Traveler. Dan says this is Free Trader Beowulf. Oh, it was that one of the Traveler ships? I don't remember. Traveler was a role-playing game in which you did character creation, and you would roll up your stuff, and it's sort of a pressure luck character creation because you will age your character but roll more stuff, and age your character and roll more stuff. So you could have an older, more experienced character, but at some point your character could die. You'd have to start all over with character creation. So yeah, the cover of the black box. Oh, got you. The black Traveler box. Got you. You know how many years it's been since I actually looked at the... I actually don't even have the Traveler box anymore. I've got a bunch of Traveler books. The black Traveler books. So. He called me a poser! Damn. So, yeah. Matter of fact, I'm not sure whether I actually had the box. I had the hardback book, and I had a bunch of the softback
That's what
books.
Sean just said.
I had the books, but I never the box. Yeah, I did not. I don't even think I had the box. Never had the.
I don't even know what you're talking
anyway,
about.
Traveler role-playing game. Anyway.
My number 5?
Steph has not played any role-playing games. Someone help us fix that. Your number 5 is?
Witchstone. Wait, it's so little. Why is it so little?
It's so little. That's bigger.
That's weird.
Don't intrude on my space.
Too bad. Push over. Witchstone. So good. I loved it. I've played it twice so far, and it has a lot of things going on that I really like.
Jeff and I still have 6 hours of our time.
It's true. They do.
Do it. I will play. Whatever it is, I will play it. Go ahead.
So what's great about Witchstone is that everybody has the same set of tiles that they will be having a choice of each turn. And you choose one, you put it on your little, like, witch pot thing.
Well, you won't have the exact same tiles. You have the exact same pool of tiles,
but you only have 5
of which you have
those.
5 at a time.
Yeah, and so they're different. Everybody will have different ones. But you're going to take these tiles and kind of make groupings the best you can on your little pot.
I'm going to take a break.
The more icons you have, the more possible strength you have for that action. So you can do more things with your action. And so there's a lot of different actions.
It's a hex cauldron.
Right.
And when you put your little pieces on there, the hexes have the 2 pieces to it. If you put a crystal next to a crystal, hey, you've got 2 crystal actions. If you then place one of those hex pieces next to one of those 2 crystal pieces, ta-da, you've now got 3 crystal actions. And the next turn 4, and the next turn 5,
etc.
And that's the way you could focus. But you're also giving up all those other different types of actions, which you're getting onesies and twosies.
But if you can get them together to make it more valuable,
exactly,
you can get those onesie and twosies to be better and better as well. So you're trying to Witchstone.
I see what you did there.
And there's just a lot to do, and it has a lot of planning and stuff that I really like. And so you're trying to optimize your tiles that you see that you have, so you can plan to play a tile and you know you have it coming. If you get lucky,
you got it coming.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of stuff going on, and I like it. I think it's a really solid game, and I've played it twice, and I definitely would like a copy.
I also liked it, but it's another one of those where I've seen the same strategy win twice. And I've seen the same...
How much replay will it have?
And
I don't know.
But I've seen the same strategy win, and I've seen the same strategy fumble twice.
Well, so there is one strategy that is weaker. That should not be done at the beginning of the game.
And I'm not going to spoiler it. Because...
But maybe a future expansion will fix that.
And the reason why I recognized it so early is because I did the sub option. I prefer the sequel, Stoned Witch. Anyway, I did the bad path the first time, thinking that I was going to get all sorts of advantages in this, that, and the other, and then I didn't. Mm-hmm. And then everyone passed me on the thing that I was actually supposed to be doing the best at. And then Aldi tried it on our second game, and he ended up with the same problem as I did. So I went after the strategy that I saw work, not because I wanted to prove it was the better strategy, but because that's just the tiles I had in my hand at the time, and they all aligned. As you can see, they all lined up for me that game because I was doing that action a bunch, and it paid off. So yeah, I need some weed to take the edge off after you get burned at the stake. Yeah, getting burned at the stake. That's a hot take there. So
Don't be a witch.
Don't be a witch.
So anyway, I really enjoyed it. I know that, maybe it will get overplayed or old after many plays, but I think it's really solid, and
it is solid. I want to make sure
would like
that
to add it to the collection, and if it does well, maybe we'll see an expansion that will help with the
unbalance.
Yeah, the weaker strategy that you're talking about, but maybe they'll add some other things going on. Who knows?
Well, I think they tried to address some of the imbalance I can see that in the design, but I don't think it was enough.
Probably not.
So, and I don't know why that imbalance is there. Because it seems like this particular action should
be good enough.
It should be okay. Well, I'll go ahead and say it. The wand action. The first person to advance on the wand will give you bonus actions and bonus points as you go along. If you're the first person to get there, you get double the reward on a lot of these spaces. But often being the first person down that wand path will mean you're not scoring as many points for the other things. Like one of them is score for your witches on the board. Well, you don't have many witches on the board because you've been taking the wand advantage more often, etc. But your double benefits should be better. But at some point, I had to end up stopping on the wand to get other things done, and everyone else just went whoosh right past. And I'm like, I didn't even get to the end. The same thing happened to Aldi when he played.
Dan says pushing the wand early won the first game I played.
Wow. Well, then that's good to know.
What was your score?
That's really good to know. I pushed the wand early. Aldi pushed the wand early.
I'll have to try it next time.
Both of them failed, and yeah, you should try it just to see how it goes.
Yeah.
I pushed the wand and did crystals. But... You hammered crystals both games.
Well, it's with the tiles I had, and it's something I like to do because it's clear my board.
You like to push those crystals.
Yeah. But
Dan doesn't know he didn't win.
It happened that I had the crystal tiles, so that is also...
Usually you'll go after whatever your tiles
have
dictate.
The most of, yeah.
Right. And I had a lot of my action.
Right.
I think
if you have
that
a lot
one
of
you're...
road placements, you're going to be placing a lot of roads.
If you have a lot of pentagram actions, you're going to do a lot of pentagrams. If you have a lot of scroll actions, you'll likely do a lot of scrolls, though it is not necessary to group those. And I think that was a little weird. You can't stack those. That's the only one you can't stack.
Yeah.
Like, if you have 2 pentagram actions, you get 2 pushes on the pentagram track. If you have 3 wand pushes, you have 3 pushes on the wand track. If you have 4 pushes on the scroll tracks, you get to look at 4 scrolls and choose one. Of course, they're already out there. You're not having to look at a blind draw. You know what's out there. Yeah, it lets you go deeper into the stack of scrolls, but I'm not sure that 4 scrolls is much more powerful than 2 scrolls, really? Because you only get 1 scroll for it.
Yeah, either way you get 1. So yeah, it's something to think about.
If you have Sean says if you have a lot of scroll action, you will start a secret war. Well, we actually played Marvel Avengers Empire, which had scrolls in it.
Yeah.
Did not make the list. Because we're not big on HeroClix, so.
Right.
But we did play it.
We did.
That
was my number.
That was your number 5. My number 4.
Your number 4.
Bad Company.
Oh, why it didn't?
What didn't?
I don't understand.
I don't know.
Nah.
So Bad Company. Yeah. This is a Machikoro-like game, and where you are trying to pull off certain heists. So you will have 2 heists at the start. The game end will trigger when you have completed 6 heists.
6 heists.
Or one of the cars has gotten all the way. One of the escape cars has gotten all the way to the end, or the police car actually.
Any car, yeah.
Any car. Along the way, you can spend gold to upgrade your characters, which will basically, every time you roll the dice, you're going to get the resources on some of your characters. And if you upgrade those characters, you'll be getting 2 resources or 3 resources, along with some victory points. I think it implements things a bit better than Machikoro does, though it doesn't have, like Machikoro will give you all sorts of little bonuses and additions and things like that. This is rather straightforward. It'll give you just resources, but it makes it easy for the game to flow really quickly.
Yeah.
Again, this is one of those things where I enjoyed the play, but I think that there is a slight weakness in it. Both games I was given one of my character mats that had 1 mitten action on the 11 and nothing on the other half of the mat. So I had 1 mitten action total, and it only triggered when I hit an 11. Now there are ways to mitigate that by, like, if you spend 2 masks, you can put 1 resource on anything. So 1 check mark on any resource.
Right.
So I could cover the mittens that way. And ultimately, I did a little bit of that. But what I really did was...
Oops.
What are you doing?
I knocked it.
Check the floor for pieces. So, causing trouble in the middle of my talk. Are you that bored?
Yep. Nope. No!
So, what happens... Yeah, you can't reach it now. What happens is you end up with some situations where your initial draw, you draw 3 heist and keep 2. What if they all have the hand symbol on it, the mitten symbol? I had only 1 of them on an 11, and all 3 of them, ultimately 2 that I kept, all had that mitten on it. Yeah. And I just had to keep it. I mean, I did end up winning, but it was in spite of... No, did I win that game?
I don't know.
I don't remember. If I won, it was in spite of what I did, not because of what I did. Because I ended up with a bad initial draw. So I'm not sure whether there are some slight weaknesses in the game, but I did have a good time playing it.
It made your number 4.
It did. Well,
I would hope so.
That's what I'm saying. Everything from number 10 to number 3. I say number 10. I already mentioned number 11 did as well. So everything from number 3 to past number 10, I had reservations whether it should be on the list.
He didn't like any games.
No, I enjoyed the experience, but I'm not sure whether it... There are other months where other games would have taken those spots because, and they could go up or down over time. Like Witchstone, for example, like Dan said, the wand strategy worked. The early pushes on the wand worked. I want to see that happen, and if it does, Witchstone will likely maintain a high rating.
Sure.
And if not, it will probably drop off completely off of the radar.
Sure.
So that's similar to a lot of these things. Can they hold up over time?
I like Bad Company pretty well.
It did not make your list.
Did not make the list. It's off the list, but it's not far off the list. I'm not usually into the Machikoro variants like this, but the fact that there are 2 sets of numbers really helps because you will split them to be how you want, but the likelihood that I'll want one of the 2 numbers is pretty good. I can find something I want with those pair numbers. It's not just like you roll and you get the 8 over and over again and I just don't want the 8, so there's a choice.
There is a choice.
And I like that better. And I like upgrading your little gang of robbers, and I just like the choices. So for me, the game works pretty well. I've already played it 4 times. I mean, that's significant. So any game that gets played more than 2 times is should have rated on your list. I gotta tell you. I mean, if you played it 4 times and you're willing to play it 4 times, I don't know how it didn't end up on your list. So anyway. It's just a weird... It's right off the list.
It's a weird month.
It is a weird month.
It's just I mean, Carcassonne. Now I can say, I liked Carcassonne. But it's a re-implementation of something that already exists and is basically almost identical to the base game. Should I put it on the top 10? Well, it's a crime to leave it out. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of things like that on this top 10.
Yeah.
She didn't put. I can tell you, she didn't put it on there.
Exactly.
That's why it didn't end up on there.
All right. This one.
Your number 4 is something I did not play, unfortunately. Gollum. Or as some people pronounce it, Golem. So, I'll tell you what I do know.
Okay, what do you know?
I know that some people don't like this because of the marble mechanic. Or the dice mechanic. The
marbles.
That's the marble mechanic. Yeah, the marble mechanic. It left a lot of people cold.
It's so funny because so many people I talked to before playing this game just was like, don't play it. It's not worth your time. Candace was like, it was horrible. She walked by, she's like, oh, it's so bad. I'm like, okay, well, I'm playing it, so I'm doing what I can. So yes, this game will not be for people.
For people?
For
Good
people.
thing we're not people.
It's for people. It's so funny because these.
It will not be for certain people.
I was not dying to try it. Because I am not a huge fan of these designers' past games. Like, Newton is fine. Lorenzo is fine. Grand Austria Hotel is fine. Like, all these games that I'm just like...
Like, you played Grand Austria Hotel wanting to love it over and over and you just don't love it. Yet it sits in the collection.
It's still in the collection because I want to love it.
Because I haven't played it yet.
I still have Newton even still.
You still have Newton? Wow.
I mean, I still have these games. I don't love them. I'm not anxious to play them. This one is by far my favorite of their games. I don't know.
I mean, it made your number 4.
It made my number 4. It has a lot of really good things going on in it. Yes, people will be turned off by the marble mechanic. So the marble mechanic, you have a whole bunch of marbles that are good.
Sean wonders if it's for people who, it really isn't for people if they lose their marbles.
There are no marbles to lose. So you take the marbles, you drop them in the tower.
You're losing your marbles.
If you can... So I think people's complaint about this is that you can kind of position it to have more marbles go one way or the other, but you really have to hold them in a line in your hand and just drop them neutral. You have to try and be neutral about it.
So I think the solution to that is take the marbles in your hand, shuffle them up like this, and drop them. Can you do that? I mean,
yeah.
Well then.
But so the problem is
no gaming the system.
No gaming. You're not supposed to game the system.
You should not game the system. Right. I mean, if you want to allow that in your game, by all means, go right ahead and game it.
But it's not like a marble tower. I mean,
so what is it?
It is, but it's not. It's not really big. So even if you shake them up and drop them, they might all still go to one side of the It's weird.
It's weird.
It's a weird tower that they have that's probably unnecessary. You could probably figure out a better way to randomize these things, but
they probably needed to test that a little more.
Probably. And then people might like it a little bit more. But I think this is the main issue that people are having with it, which I didn't have an issue with because it didn't bother me. But I'm probably in the minority here. I like looking at the marble options and seeing, even if...
So what, do they slide out a certain distance, or what happens? So
there's different actions that you're taking. And depending on the action you want to take, there will be marbles in the line. Maybe.
There's marbles in what line? In the tower? In the...
So they fall out, and you select a marble, and you're taking the action that it's assigned to.
Well, how does it get assigned to an action? I'm asking you, is it distance that it rolls? Is it...
It's like this. So the marbles are like this.
They can't see anything.
I know. I'm going to show you. Ideally, there's actions over here.
How do the marbles come out like that?
They drop in the tower, and then they come out.
So they come out in 4 lanes?
4 or 6 lanes or something. 6 lanes.
They come out in different lanes.
It's
super bright.
Let me see if I can lower that.
There it is. There it is. I turned it away from the brightness of the light. So
these marbles are getting dropped. So the problem people are having is that Action 1 will get maybe 5 marbles, and Action 3 will get, like, no marbles or something. Yeah, if you're holding it over that side of the board or whatever, you might not see any on that side. So you have to try and make it even.
They should have deflected it
somehow, evenly.
Inside the tube.
Evenly, yes.
Even if it's not evenly, there's ways that you can make it so, like...
Semi-evenly.
I mean, it's not a Plinko board. You can still divert things around to where things will randomly fall out. I think it...
Hey, Mom.
That's not great. Hi, Mom.
So, the way it is right now is not great. And I see why people don't like it.
I said pachinko, yes.
And so, depending on the action you're taking, you take out the marble. It's like Grand Austria Hotel. I know you haven't played it, but it's like Grand Austria Hotel. Depending on how many marbles are there, will make your action slightly better. Okay, so you kind of want to go where all the marbles are, even if you don't want to go where the marbles are because you don't want those actions, but it will give you a better action. I like this because I like to optimize what I'm trying to do.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if there's 4 marbles there, is that a chance for someone to do a level 4 action, level 3 action, level 2 action, level 1 action, basically? But that means that columns with only 1 marble, you get to take the only act of that action, and it's only at level 1. So don't you have a lot of actions building up? I mean, you get, basically, 4 really good actions, on one thing and 1 really poor action on the other.
Yes and no.
And things tilt over one direction.
Well, right. So if I'm taking the action with 4 marbles, it might be like gain 4 gold, and then it take the basic action for that action spot. And then there's like 3 different things that you're doing on that spot that you can possibly do. And one of them is usually gather some sort of resources, which corresponds to the number of marbles that are there. Or you get a discount for the number of marbles that are there, or something like that. So, yeah, having more marbles will make the action better, but still having the option for an action with 1 marble it could be what you want.
Could be. Just seems like things might get unbalanced.
Well, right. That's why people don't like the marble mechanic.
People don't like the marble mechanic, which the tower should have been designed differently.
Right. So that's the main problem.
That's unfortunate.
Right. Everything else that's going on in the game, managing your golems that are walking out on the street, is really interesting for me.
I mean, even putting things in the potion explosion tower divides up more evenly than that, and there's nothing there. So, I mean...
Right.
Anyway.
So, I'm not sure you're going to love it because of that marble mechanic, but people are thinking of other ideas for it, like rolling different dice or something that corresponds to how you can select the marbles. I'm sure people will think of something.
So, are there some marbles that don't come out?
Every marble will come out.
Every marble will come out?
Yeah.
Well, just roll a die and put it in that category.
Yeah, you could do that.
That's random.
Sure. Then you have to roll it for all 20 marbles or whatever.
Now, if some marbles didn't come out, like we played a early prototype that was not great, and ultimately I doubt it's even gotten published. Where some of the cubes did not come out the bottom of the tower,
right?
On purpose,
right?
In that case, you don't need a tower; you need a draw bag,
yeah,
and draw out X number.
Sure.
Or some random number. Take a random handful and pull them out. Yeah,
Dan, there is a lot of overlap with Grand Austria Hotel with how things are going on in Gollum.
That's Grand Austria Hotel, so...
Yeah, I know. And so, for me, this is by far the best of their designs, just because I love what they're doing with every other aspect of the game, and the marble thing could stand to be worked on. But it didn't bother me as if it bothered everybody else. So.
But all the rest is different than Grand Austria, or no?
Oh, yeah. Everything else is very different. Very, very different. Trey says, my issue with the game is not the marble drop and selection. It just felt like a bunch of small actions working towards different paths. And none of the paths were particularly interesting to you. And that's fine. I can understand that. For me, you're upgrading your golems, you're upgrading your library, you're upgrading your little, machine. So you're doing a lot of, upgrading to get cool combos and bonuses as you walk down the streets to get other actions and bonuses. I understand they probably don't all linked together, but that doesn't bother me either. So,
I'm interested to try it.
Yeah.
Who's it by?
This is Cranio.
Cranio Creations? Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You enjoy Grand Austria Hotel well enough. Lorenzo, much less so. Yeah. So for me, out of theirs, I really liked Lorenzo Masters of Renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that marble game?
Mm-hmm.
We played it a long time ago, Lobster Trap. I ended up picking it up. I have it, but I haven't played it since.
That's the one where you put it in and then things
slide,
shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so
we played it. We did play it
again.
Lobster 19, I think.
Yeah.
It's not Lobster number 19. Lobster Trap 2019.
2019.
So, yeah.
So, anyway, I really liked them. It made my number 4.
Yep.
I want it.
Another good game with possible flaws. That's the theme of this month, I think.
Possible flaws.
My number 3, we've already talked about before. You may not even need to put up the... well, you might as well. It is going to be a different size because you complained about it before. It's Witchstone. You moved it. Yay. Boop. Tiny Witchstone.
I don't get it.
So yeah, I want to see if all the actions, if it's possible to win with any initial draw.
Yeah.
I want to see whether it's possible to turn a poor start into a good finish, etc. So this is one I want to try more and more. So this is the best of the ones that I think have sort of questionable.
That's fair.
So from 3
really
all the way on down,
I'm
like...
glad you liked it as much as you did, because after the first play, I wasn't sure you liked it much at all. But then you were like kind of almost forced into playing it again.
I got beaten down by that wand action.
Yeah.
It's like I pushed hard on it and then got nowhere with it. But then whenever I think you were surprised about we were playing games with Aldi, and he said, "Hey, let's play Witchstone," and you were like, "You want to play it?" And I said, "Sure." And you were surprised because that is not usually me. If I've played a game this year,
he's usually like, "No."
I'm usually like, "I've played it this year."
Yeah.
It's it's something like Newton comes up. Hey, you want to play Newton? No, I've played it in the past year or two, and I enjoyed it, and I'll enjoy it again next time I play it. But I don't feel the burning desire to play it. It's short enough, and so it was fine. Plus, I got to spend some good quality time with Scott Alden. When he wants to play games with you at his convention, you say yes. I mean,
it doesn't matter what it is.
That's what you do, and that's why Captain got mad at me. He said, "Don't you just blow me off?" I'm like, I'm hanging out with the owner.
BGG.
I've got it. I mean, and that's why we wore our Board Game Geek shirts. It's because, representing after the convention. So, yay!
But I'm glad we got
Thanks
to
for
play
everything,
it again.
Aldi. If you are watching this
it.
video after the fact, thanks a lot. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As usual. I mean, been coming there since 2013. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Your number 3, something that we've already talked about, and it's one of your favorites. Carcassonne.
I mean, I rate Carcassonne an 8.
Carcassonne.
Carcassonne.
No.
I rated it an 8.
Yep.
So it will be still an 8 forever. I mean, I love Carcassonne. I would always
You love
play
Carcassonne
it.
enough to have drink tiles.
God, I love those. I should have bought more of those. It was on Kickstarter. It was an early Kickstarter that I started, backing on.
These are super thick.
Yeah, they've lasted forever. I love them.
Well, they're really worn.
I know.
Mean, look how worn that is.
I use them all the time.
But you can actually play a game with the coasters.
I know. I should have bought enough to play the game.
You should have.
I mean, I love it. I think it's...
But actually, these were the inspiration for your coaster designs.
That's true.
Which are actually available on your
store.
On your store. Where's your link? At your Steph shop.
I think I just have the calendar.
Well, they can get to it from the calendar link,
yes,
right?
Calendar. That.
All you have to do is go to to the stephshop.equa.com, and boom, you can check out those
some coasters
awesome
too.
coasters. Yeah.
But yeah, Carcassonne, I love it. I love the new
Do you love
tiles.
the new mechanic?
Yes, I love the new mechanic. I love the bishop dude. I love the sweet glisten on the tiles. I think it's beautiful.
I was
love
skeptical of the new mechanic because I'm like, double turns, placing on untaken, uncompleted features. I don't know about this. Is it going to ruin the simplicity and elegance of Carcassonne? But it did not. So, because there are some Carcassonne expansions, let's be honest, that are completely off the wall crazy.
I really like
and
the
I've never
dragon.
played it. Like the catapult, I hear that's just like ridiculous.
I haven't played it.
Don't play
either.
with a catapult, supposedly.
But,
I don't know.
But then again, I love the dragon, which will just blow up the board. He goes around like this and goes and kills tiles.
I'm interested in seeing what it has to offer.
I like the dragon and princess, so I
anyway.
like it. I'm probably one of the few though. It is chaotic.
Do you have that in your set?
Yeah, It's there for sure.
For sure.
Anyway, Carcassonne, obviously in my top. Love it.
My number 3? No, my number 2.
Oh yeah, you're number 2. Wow, we're just plowing through this.
I don't know if plowing through is the right term. Free ride. We've already talked about this, but as abstract and just pick up and deliver, just building routes and stuff. I'm surprised it made your list. I think you're probably surprised it got so high on my list.
It's a solid game. What can I say?
It's a solid game. It's a solid number 2.
Solid number 2.
That relates in with another joke that I have, but I enjoy Power Grid. I enjoy the what?
Best mood award.
Best. I enjoy all of the different the route mechanics that are in Power Grid. So it's not that surprising to me that I would like Free Ride. I don't have a bit of problems finding everything, though I think that one solution might fix it is by having vivid color areas on the board. There only have to be maybe 5 or 6, and then the route cards that come up will be those colors. Yeah. I think that would fix it.
That would easily fix it. That would at least be helpful.
It's my best mood award. Looks like it's for small friends.
I have a feeling this will be a huge hit whenever it is released. I'm pretty sure it will be all over the place.
I think so.
I think we'll be seeing it a lot in the next year and a half.
So Eric Martin has his game that he attaches to at the con, whether it be Game Face to Face or the Crew. This year it was Free Ride.
He always has a game.
Last year it was him curled up into the fetal position between the wall and a couch. That's what he said. he said 2017 was this, 2018 was this, 2019 was this, and 2020 was me curled up in a fetal position between a wall and the couch. And I laughed so hard at that. Eric, I feel your pain. We got our that was our last game of the con. We got our picture in Eric's blog, in the BGG cool. News. Not just blog, the news.
The news blog.
The BGG News. So, yeah.
The fetal position is your favorite game. Makes sense.
Being in the fetal position between the couch and the wall, that's but yeah, it was. It's surprising that the very last game of the convention would be one of my tops, and my top did come from the convention.
Yeah.
Which your number 2 is my number 1.
Oh yeah, how about that?
And your number 1 also came from the convention as well.
It did. Where is it? This.
Yes.
I'm surprised this made it as high as it did for you too.
Really? Why?
I don't know.
Because it's Knizia?
It's Knizia. Is it Millefiori?
Millefiori or Millefiori?
I've been calling it Millie, even though now it's like, okay, it is Millborns.
Millefiori?
Millefiori? I don't know. But I love it.
But you love it.
It's my number 2, and it's your number
2.
1.
My number 1. Yep. So you go around and you are. Go ahead and explain it.
Okay, so first of all, it's a drafting game, which
I love drafting.
Automatically right up there for me because I love drafting. It's always that like tough choice. Do I take what I want?
Milborn's is French. This is Italian.
So okay, sure. Do I take what I want and just pass Michael what he wants, or do I stop Michael from what he wants?
No,
it's like, okay, there's a lot of like hate drafting going on, right? Which I love. I love like
I love
figuring
She loves hate drafting, but she doesn't like take that cards in Lizard Wizard.
Yeah, because I have a clear choice. I have a choice.
You have a choice with the other too.
No, because you're gonna beat me up anyway. So anyway, you're drafting these cards in order to place your discs down on the board. There's different regions of the board where you're placing these discs. And
the discs or they're little
diamond.
So you see all the little diamonds on the board here. All of these little diamond things. They are basically see-through things of your color, and you place them on the board. I look at all of the regions of the board like little mini games.
Yes.
So there's one mini game where you are building up a grid that can contain several different pyramids. If you have two things on the bottom level, you can put one thing above it. And if you have three things on the bottom level and two on the middle level, you put one on the top of it. And if you can get one of each symbol, there's a bonus for it. If you can get...
Yeah, there's all these ways to score. There's like a million ways to score.
So there's two of those pyramid puzzles. There's one of them where you are trying to surround areas on a grid. And if you can surround a three-way segment, then you get one of the things in the middle, which gives you extra bonuses. And if you can get one of each type, you get a bonus. Or if you get the bigger you can make a group, it's going to be worth more points. Then there is two separate mini games that will either let you place in a type of good or place a ship for that type of good. And if the ships fill up, well, then you score with what goods are there. And if the goods fill up, then you have incentive to place ships there. And so there's a fine balance with those two mini games, trying to make those balance out the way you want it to. And you're also not just filling up the rows with the ships on it, but also the columns. And if you have all of a column, then you can get extra bonus points. And if your opponent is there and they have more than you are helping them out, and then they get points, but you get a bonus for it. There's a lot of goodness going on in this game.
You're going to score a lot of points in this game.
It does not seem like standard Knizia. I think he's done a lot of...
It has some aspects that are very Knizia, and then other aspects that are, there's a lot going on, and you're going to score a lot of points for a lot of different things. I haven't seen too much
from him with lots of different mini games like this.
Right, I think so.
It's almost like a board game roll and write, but no roll and write. Do you know what I'm saying? Where you have all the different bonuses and stuff that stack up and whatnot. So yeah. Was the copy you were playing in English? There have seen no news about this coming to the U.S. market.
I think there were English rules because I don't remember having to look it, or did I have to look it up? I don't remember. It was in the BGG library.
It was in the BGG library.
It might have had printed rules in English, but I really can't remember.
I don't remember.
I hope it's so good, it will get picked up. I'm sure about that. I'd be surprised. I know it rarely, but it's just so good. It's like, it's gonna be picked up. I'm confident.
So I wonder if the Schmidt version has the English rules. I don't know.
I don't remember what it was. I've heard they were hard to work with, says Dan. Well, I've also heard that, but I'm hopeful because I want a copy. Because this is a great game. Not only is it just like fun to play, but it's beautiful. I love the little tiles. It does look like glass works, right? I mean, the little tiles. It looks like glass, and I know that's what the Millefiori is. Decorative pattern glassware. Someone has posted the rules translation on the Geek. I expect someone will import copies. I would also expect that.
So the area at the top of the board that is basically the glass construction area. There's you can place one on ash and one on something else, and that's all the different components that go into the making of glass. So it all has to do with that. Yeah. And your little crystals are supposed to be little glass crystals that you're putting on the board. So, yeah,
it's really good.
It's no I'm seeing some things on the thread that says the printed version has a note that the publisher has made some changes to Knizia's version. The online version does not. So there are different versions of rules out there. So keep that in mind.
I wonder what that even means.
I'm not sure. So amazingly enough.
Maybe that there were rules that were written on. Remember, it says do not do this. Shuffle it
I remember something like that.
Yeah,
so maybe there were printed rules.
There was something like do not replace these cards or something essentially making the game go faster.
Right, right. Oh, because the original did the original had one intent and they said don't do this because then it makes it go the way it's supposed to go and not the way it's written.
Yeah, so, I remember that, but yeah.
Where's the online version? I don't know.
This
is just from a thread that I saw.
Yeah. Maybe it's on Tabletopia or something. I don't know, but I want to play it. Let's play it right now.
Right.
So that was your number 1, my number 2.
Yes.
That means we got one
left. That means you only have one left, and it's something I haven't played, but clearly it looks like I need to play it. And you tried to play this all convention. I did. And you ended up.
It's
when
Boon Lake.
Did you play this?
Boon Lake.
Did you play this when I was at BGG or BSG, or did you play this?
I played Gollum when you were at BSG.
Yeah.
And then the last final day of the con, I woke up at 8.
Oh yeah, you woke up super freaking early, and you're like,
I'm going. And then you're like, I'm gonna sleep.
Out here.
And I'm like, I'm going. And so I found some people who had already played it, and they were willing to teach it. And that was great.
Oh, online version of rules. Yeah, you're probably right.
That could be.
Yeah.
So Boon Lake, Alexander Pfister, awesome. It's awesome. If you like Maracaibo.
Are you a Pfister sister? You don't know.
If you like Maracaibo, I think it's safe to say that you'll like this.
That sounded better in my head than...
A lot of overlapping themes and stuff. Yeah, let me talk.
I'm worse than Azul.
Me. I don't know. But Boon Lake, very heavy game. A lot of going on in it. Tons of symbols. So many cards. So many combos to figure out. And you're moving their boat around. You're selecting actions. And you're taking actions. Everybody else will get a secondary action for the action you select. So
what's it like?
So
secondary action, it's got a lot of...
like a Puerto Rico thing.
Puerto Rico, San Juan, Roll for the Galaxy.
Yep. There's just... So I select an action. There's 3 different things I get to do, and then everybody else will get to do something as well. And then I get to move my boat, and I get more things, and lots of stuff going on. You're trying to build up your space, your cows and your farmland, and just trying to do so much stuff. It's awesome. It's perfect for any Euro gamer. I mean, it's deep, like Maracaibo. So you remember Maracaibo?
Yep.
The boat's moving around. You have a scoring, and then you go around again.
Is it like that?
It's similar. The boat's gonna go and have a scoring. It's gonna come around, and then eventually it's gonna end up in the final round kind of thing.
Who was Maracaibo done by?
Capstone / Alexander Pfister.
It's yeah. So yeah. So it's got a little bit of that in there?
Yeah, the way that the boats are going around and is scoring. So there's that. There's some other similarities between Maracaibo as well, but that's the big one. It's Pfister, so it always has interesting card mechanics. You remember Cloud Age? We played it just the other day.
I enjoyed Cloud Age.
Yeah, he always has interesting ideas.
Yep, that was my number 2 last month.
Yeah, it's really good.
So yeah. I wish that... Okay, so if a designer comes up with that circle idea, and then they reuse it again in another game, I think it's okay.
It's a little different. But
I think that it's like maybe you could have implemented it the same way, but not where it looks like it's the same way. So, I mean, and I've not played it, so I can't really speak to it exactly.
It's not exactly the same. There are scoring parts to it, so you're coming around, you score when you pass the bar, and then you get to the end of that first section, you go back up to the start, and then you kind of come down. So...
Legends came in and said, danger, danger, I'm going to buy something and blame Steph. It's true.
It happens. I'm sorry. But Boone Lake, number 1, Crunchy Euro, so much to do.
So quick rundown of our lists. My number 10, Small Islands. Number 9, Old Tree. Number 8, Astro Knights. Number 7, Azul Queen's Guard. Number 6, Lizard Wizard. Number 5, Carcassonne 20th Anniversary. Number 4, Bad Company. Number 3, Witchstone. Number 2, Free Ride. And number 1, Millefiori.
Come on and take a free ride.
Free Ride.
My number 10 was Old Tree.
Yeah.
Number 9, Astro Knights. Number 8, Sheep and Garden. Number 7, Free Ride. Number 6, Taj Mahal. Number 5, Witchstone. Number 4, Golem. Number 3, Carcassonne 20th Anniversary. Number 2, Millefiori. And number 1, Boone Lake.
Boone Lake.
That was a really good month of games, even though I know you had some reservations about several of them.
They are good games. I just want to see where they go from here.
Well, it's kind of like that Living Forest game. The mechanics are all really cool, really fun, and then the scoring, the end game, just there's so much that there's like a point in the game where it's like, this game just turned to the worst. Like, how did this happen?
That's another one of those. It's like all of those from 3 on down could go vastly up or down on that list. I'm fairly sure Free Ride is solid. And I'm fairly sure that Millefiori is solid.
Yeah,
the other ones, they might be a little bit variable, but I have to put something enjoyable and fun on the list. So those ended up there. And the more fun I had, the higher up I put them.
That's right.
So that's what we do. But there's a lot that... don't think that, because it's number 10, it's not going to give you as much enjoyment as number 3. It may be just as good for you. Or better.
Of course. That will be like anybody. Like, a lot of people tried to steer me away from Gollum, for example. But
exactly, yeah, because of the marble mechanic. But
I liked it quite a bit.
You would have missed your number 4 game.
That's why I play them.
Exactly.
I need to know if I like it personally.
And you know what?
Only give you
only have to play it once.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you only have to play it once.
That's right. There's a lot of games out there, so I try and pick the
even in your reviews. Like. Even in your reviews, you on some of your 5s and 6s, you say, this particular game is not my jam, but if you like this series, you're probably going to like this game. I think that's the most fair way of doing it.
The easiest thing I could think of is like the Funkoverse system. You either like it and play them all the time, or you collect them all, or whatever.
We've played every one once.
I'm not going to change your mind by playing, each one individually, saying it's fine, But if you like it, you like it, and you should try it.
Yep.
I like the figures. I don't mind playing it.
And we'll play it, and you can find out. Hey, do you think that you will like this particular implementation because of these powers or something? You might.
Yeah.
So we play.
It just depends on what you like, but I try and give you my personal experience with these games, and there's still a lot to learn. I learned 70 in November.
Right. Just because it's not on the list means it's a bad game. That's why you should check out the entire list from Steph. I don't put all of my games in a list, but generally you can find out what Steph likes in her
New to Me
blog. The first Monday, Wednesday, or Friday of the month. If the first of the month falls on a Thursday, you can find it in her Friday blog. If the first of the month hits on Saturday, you can find it in her Monday blog, and you will see, ta-da, there's her blog, and you can check out all of her ratings.
70 new games that I learned. That's a lot. I'm at 525 new games for the year, which is like crazy.
I think
That's crazy.
Daviau's game would have hit my number 3 this month.
Really?
Yeah. It depends. I want to see where that goes.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. And
so thanks for hanging out with us during our top 10. I think we can.
Yep. For those of you who are on our Twitch stream, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.